Oh. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Lindsay Piper on the product marketing team here at Sentry, and joining me is Sujung Shin, who is a software engineer who coded a lot of what we're going to be talking about today. Fun fact for everybody, Sujung and I actually started at Sentry on the same day. So thank you so much for being here, Sujung.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Let's get started. Let's take a look at the agenda. So our agenda today is pretty straightforward. I'm going to introduce Sentry's AI code review, and then Sujung is going to take you through a demo so you can see it in action. I'll cap it off with some under the hood details, and then we'll end with some time for questions. So if you do have questions during the presentation, please add them in the chat. Chat is available on YouTube, but not on LinkedIn or X. So if you have questions, try joining us on YouTube, and I think we'll put the link in the chat. So let me start off with just what makes Sentry's AI code review unique. There are quite a few AI code reviewers out there at this point, and so I want to just start with what sets ours apart. Next slide. Perfect. So, of course, we're going to start with your code. You've written it, you need it checked. Most code reviewers are variations on kind of the same thing. They look at your code base through an LLM, and the context they use is primarily some different like static analysis rules. They maybe will tinker with the model or the prompts to try and optimize the results, and it works okay a lot of the time. Next one. So, but here's where Sentry differs. This is going to sound redundant, but like we're Sentry. So when you think about how much context we have about your code base and the errors it's caused, and the performance issues it's caused in your application, this is an amazing amount of context to add to your AI code review. And so we have so much information about what your code's done in the past that it helps us predict your code's future. As I mentioned, we have that same information about performance. And so then all we really have to do is just use that information that we already have. And so we're going to pop into a demo, and Sujung is going to show you exactly how we use that.
Thanks, Lindsay. Hey, everyone. I'm Sujung, one of the engineers working on AI code review. I've been enjoying working on this project for selfish reasons. I've definitely felt the pain of shipping an inadvertent bug that breaks prod. So these tools help me feel better about not missing anything. Let's take a look first at how to get started. We can check out the onboarding page that outlines the 3 steps to get going. The first step is make sure that you've got the relevant toggles turned on within your organization settings for your Sentry org. Show generative AI features should be turned on, as well as enable AI code review. Next step, set up the GitHub integration. So click through to install the Sentry GitHub app, follow the links for add installation. And once you've configured any GitHub orgs and repos you want accessible for these features, they'll show up in this list. Last step, set up Seer. So go through and install the Seer by Sentry GitHub app. This one will click through the GitHub app to get it installed onto your org as well. Once you finish those 3 steps, you'll have everything onboarded. Once you want to get onboarded, let's take a look at the features in action. So the first one is the bug predictor. So all you have to do to get started for the bug predictor is open a PR in GitHub like normal. And once it's out of draft mode, the predictor will automatically scan it. Here's an example. In this case, our team was adding a way to track GitHub repos in a GitHub org to set feature flags based on repos. We had tables for GitHub repository and GitHub organization, and we're adding in a repositories relation. Looks fine at first. But as it turned out, the relation points to organization ID column representing the Sentry org instead of its sibling column, GitHub organization ID. So when this runs, it runs against the wrong column, returning nothing, or worse, the repos from the wrong org. This is a classic Laravel footgun. Relations use raw string keys with no static checks surfaced. So with both organization ID and GitHub organization ID in the schema, it was easy to grab the wrong one by accident. Luckily, our bot flagged it. Here's the predicted bug in the wild. It gives a description of the problem, more info about why it would be a problem, as well as a handy suggested solution. This was a nice logic level bug that the predictor caught before it reached prod. It saved us some time chasing down confusing behavior and avoided the risk of returning data from the wrong org. Here's another fun one. The team was setting up routing between services and storing each org's routing URL in the organization table. The way it was written, every GitHub webhook would call this helper, which meant a new database lookup on every event. And since webhooks can generate a lot of traffic, that could add up quickly. The bug predictor flagged this as a potential performance issue and suggested caching. Catching it early meant we can put in the safeguard now instead of dealing with the 2 a.m. page alert down the road. It was great having the second pair of eyes on the code helping us out. So those were some cool places we saw the bug predictor help catch some things we missed on the first go. What about the more detailed review that may include code style and conventions? For that, we've got the AI code reviewer. Here's what that looks like in action. So in this PR, I'm adding a feature to add a new drop-down menu to an existing component in our UI. Pretty standard stuff. I pushed up this PR, and then, oops. Of course, that happens now. Push up the PR, and when I call at Sentry Review, it'll respond with eyes emoji that is working on it. And then it'll show the recommendations for this PR. This was a helpful one that I missed. We need to wrap the text in T function for internationalization translations. I was glad that it picked up this repo convention that I missed buried in a couple lines of text in the 117 lines of code. The tool was great at understanding the rest of the conventions in the code base and making my code more consistent. Let's check out another example of the AI code reviewer and how it's helped us catch things around the edges. In this PR, we are updating our test analytics feature, moving away from raw SQL to using Django ORM. We initiated the feedback with the @Sentry review, and it gave us some helpful style and maintainability feedback. Here, we're deciding how many tests to include in the slowest test calculation. The review suggested we avoided hard-coded matching numbers and instead pull them out into named constants to serve as documentation for what they represent. It's a fair point. In another spot, we had the same filtering logic for test run branch summary repeated in 2 different places. The review pointed out that it would be clearer and more maintainable to pull that into a helper function and reuse it. Sure. It was nice to have some general feedback on ways to improve the code, and it only gave it the feedback when we asked for it with the @Sentry review prompt. It worked more like a second set of eyes rather than a noisy lid tool. The last thing I wanted to show you is our test generation. So back to the last example, there I was, finished up my UI component. Everything looks good in local. I should be done, right? Wrong. Now I have to go write tests. That's usually when my motivation dips. But now I can get some help. Just comment @Sentry generate test. Check out here. It'll respond with the eyes emoji like before. And then I'll get this notification here. Sentry creates a PR in a new branch off my work and adds tests that follow patterns it's learned from the rest of the repo, so they blend in with our existing test style. When I'm ready, I just review this branch and then merge it back into mine. It gives me coverage for the main use cases right away, and I can adjust or add to the tests if I want to. I was happy to get this head start to keep my momentum going. And that's about it. Those are the flows I wanted to show, starting with onboarding, then error prediction, catching issues early, code review, giving some useful feedback, and test generation, helping keep the coverage up. Each piece fits into the way I already work, and it takes someone to load off and acts as that second pair of eyes. Thanks for listening in on this flyover. Now back to Lindsay.
And I'm back. Okay, you want to go to the next slide? Perfect. So, Sujong, thanks so much. I'm going to just wrap us up with a couple more details, and then again, we will have time for questions. So I'm going to head to the next slide. If you recall back to the beginning, I talked about, Sentry's added context from errors and performance, and I want to show you a little bit more of a flow of how it works. So it starts from your code, and at first it uses similar context to most code reviewers by using an LLM and static analysis to take that first pass at your code. But that's then where the paths diverge. So from there, it layers in context from Sentry, specifically the errors and performance issues that your code has caused in the past, to inform what code issues are likely to cause real problems, like actual issues in your code base. And then finally, it runs repo-wide checks to validate that the bugs that it found are real. And that's how it keeps that high signal, low noise in your PR. So a quick recap of the 3 AI code review features. So error prediction that Sujong showed you runs automatically when you open a PR. You don't have to do anything to prompt it. And it'll just show you the most important prod breaking errors. Again, there we are going for high signal, low noise. And then you need to prompt for PR reviews and test generation. So PR review is the second thing that Sujong showed you that gets you that longer list of bugs, formatting issues, and so on. So that's when you want that more in-depth, more nitpicky review. And for that, you need to prompt @Sentry review. And then to have Sentry generate unit tests to cover your PR, you prompt @Sentry generate-test. To get started, just a reminder, first you need to install the Seer app, the Seer by Sentry GitHub app, and you can find that in the GitHub Marketplace. You need to enable the Sentry GitHub integration in settings under integrations. And then finally, you need to toggle on generative AI and AI code review, and you'll find those under general settings. So that's kind of it for our main spiel. We do have time for some questions. So if you guys have questions, now's the time. Please go ahead and add them in the chat, and we will watch out for your questions. In the meantime, while you add your questions, I'm going to start us off with some questions that we got along with the sign up. So the first question that I got was, how is this different from CodeRabbit or BugBot? And I can take the answer on this one. So most of our users will find that our automated bug prediction is a lot less noisy. So it'll kind of, as I mentioned, give you that really important stuff without spamming your PR. We talked a lot about the error and performance context that Sentry brings in. And it's really, that's that special sauce that's keeping those reviews super relevant. Another one that I got, another question that we got is the code review available for GitLab? And the answer is, unfortunately, no, right now it's not. Right now it is only available for GitHub. The other thing I want to mention is that currently it's not available in the EU, but we are working on making it available in the EU, excuse me, ASAP. So getting some more questions from the chat. So Sujong, I'm going to hand this question off to you. Talking about context, does it look at the PR description when reviewing a PR? So is the PR description part of that context?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great question. Yeah, we do pull that in and use that as something to give the agent context on what kind of bugs are truly bugs. So answer is yes.
Awesome. Looks like I'm not seeing a lot more questions. Again, Q&A is available through YouTube, but not through LinkedIn or X. But seeing no further questions, we can make this a reasonably short workshop and give everybody some time back. Okay. Cool. Well, want to say thank you to everybody for, Stephen came in with the last minute question here. Okay. One more question for you. Stephen asked, can you commit directly code change suggestions from the comment?
So for that one, on our general PR reviewer, the one that you prompt with at Sentry review, it might include a code suggestion that you can commit directly. For the bug predictor, it has more of a general description of the suggested fix.
Excellent. Okay, so Andy asked if we have any questions or doubts about Seer and the AI capabilities of Sentry. Where should I drop them or ask about it? Andy, I think the best place for that is actually, or he said also, more than questions or doubts, feedback, to be honest. So yeah, any questions, feedback, anything like that, the best place to engage with us is on Discord. And I think that we can add that Discord link in the chat here so everybody can get it. So yeah, definitely reach out to us on Discord with any questions or feedback. Okay, Farshid asked, is there a Sentry MCP so other AI code assistants can get context from Sentry? Let's see, Sujong, I don't know how much you know about this one. I know we have an MCP, and I forget the specific details about that MCP. I don't know if you can add anything, Sujong. We might have to get back to you on this, or actually, Farshid, you maybe reach out through Discord for a more in-depth answer. Sujong, I don't know if you can add any color to that.
Yes, we have it. But yeah, I think for the details, we can post more about it out there into Discord.
Perfect. David asked, is Bitbucket supported? No, unfortunately, right now it's just GitHub. Let's see. Okay, perfect. And I see that we've added the links to the Discord feedback. So if anybody has further questions and or feedback, please reach out on Discord. We're happy to engage with you there and get the more detailed questions answered. Awesome. Oh, one more rolled in from Tolan. Are these features only available for paid users? So right now, our AI code review is actually in open beta. So right now it is free during open beta. Eventually it will go GA, and at that point it will be paid, but not just yet. Let's see. So one more. Already, Shabazz asked, so though you already mentioned it's only for GitHub for now, when can it be available for Azure DevOps PR? So in terms of the roadmap for other places other than GitHub, I'm not sure on the timing. I know that we have definitely looked at adding support for other places, but I don't have a date for you right now in terms of when it would be available. Okay. All right. I think those are all the questions. So I will wrap it up and say thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Sujong, thank you for the presentation. Everyone will get a follow-up email with some helpful links and information on how to get started, and have a great